Hello, and welcome back to Speak English Daily.
Hi, everyone. We are very happy to see you here today.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope you're doing well today, wherever you're listening from. Life can feel heavy sometimes. Some days you feel ignored. Some days you feel like your words don't land, like people talk over you, rush you, or don't take you seriously. And that question starts to grow quietly in your mind. Why don't people respect me?
Yeah, that feeling can sit with you for a long time. It's not always loud. Sometimes it's just a small moment, like someone not listening or brushing past what you said, and it stays with you.
It does. And here's the truth most people don't tell you. Respect is not something you wait for. It's not something others suddenly decide to give you one day. Respect is something you build, slowly, from the inside out.
That already changes how you look at it, because if you think respect only comes from others, you're always waiting. But if it starts inside, then you're not powerless anymore.
Exactly. You don't need to be rich, you don't need to be loud, you don't need to dominate rooms or collect approval. You don't need to become someone else. What you need is to become grounded in who you are, calm, clear, steady. When you respect yourself consistently, people feel it before you explain anything.
It's interesting because people often think confidence is about doing more, talking more, showing more, proving more. But this feels like the opposite.
It is the opposite. This is not about tricks or pretending to be confident. It's not about copying someone else's behavior. It's about becoming strong in your presence, your choices, and your actions. When that happens, respect follows naturally.
And while people are listening, they're also learning English at the same time. Not just words, but how to express strength and clarity in a calm way.
That's why we're here. If this kind of growth matters to you, stay with us and subscribe. Let's get into it.
Because once you understand where respect really comes from, everything else starts to shift.
If you want people to respect you, the first place you have to look is not outside. It's with yourself. Because the way people treat you is often a reflection of the standard you accept. When you ignore your own needs, others learn to ignore them too.
That's uncomfortable to hear, but it makes sense. If you keep putting yourself last, people start assuming that's where you belong.
Exactly. Self-respect is not about thinking you're better than others. It's about believing that your time, your energy, and your voice matter. When you say yes to everything just to be liked, when you laugh at things that hurt you, when you stay quiet while someone crosses a line, you're teaching people how to treat you.
And most of the time, they don't even realize they're doing it. They're just responding to what you allow.
Right. Imagine this simple situation. Someone asks you to help them late at night. You're exhausted, you need rest, but you agree anyway, even though it doesn't feel right. You show up tired, distracted, forcing yourself to be pleasant.
Then the next time they need help, they don't even ask carefully. They assume you'll be there again.
Yes, and after a while, they stop appreciating it. Not because they're bad people, but because you've shown them that your limits don't matter. Now imagine the same moment, but this time you say calmly, "I can't do that tonight. I need rest." No long explanation, no guilt, just honesty.
That changes the energy completely. You're not rejecting the person, you're respecting yourself.
And people feel that. When you protect your time, your peace, and your boundaries, others start treating them as valuable too. This is what self-respect looks like in real life. You say no without apology. You leave conversations that drain you. You don't chase people to stay in your life.
That part is hard for many people. Walking away quietly instead of trying to prove your worth.
It is hard, but it's powerful. When someone doesn't see your value, you don't argue with them. You step back with calm strength. Over time, people sense that your presence is not cheap, your energy feels protected, and respect begins to grow without you demanding it.
So the real question becomes, where am I not respecting myself right now?
Exactly. That's where change starts. Before anyone else respects you, you have to look at yourself and say, I matter. My time matters. My feelings matter. My voice matters. Not louder than others, just clear enough that you don't forget it.
And when you live like that, people feel it, even if you never say it out loud.
Have you ever walked into a room and noticed someone immediately, even though they didn't say anything? Not because they were loud or trying to impress, but because they felt calm and steady.
Yeah, those people stand out without effort. You can't always explain why, but you feel their presence.
That presence often comes from relaxed body language. Before you speak, before you introduce yourself, before you explain anything, your body has already sent a message. People are reading you without realizing it.
They're picking up on signals. Are you tense or calm? Are you comfortable in your skin or trying to prove something?
Exactly. Imagine two people sitting in the same meeting. One sits comfortably, shoulders relaxed, breathing slow, eyes steady. The other keeps shifting, checking their phone, smiling too much, fidgeting. Without a word, people respond differently to them.
The calm one feels more grounded. It's easier to trust them.
That's the power of relaxed body language. It tells people, I'm here, I belong, and I don't need approval. And this is something you can practice. Start with posture. Sit or stand straight, but don't force it. Let your body feel open, not stiff.
I noticed shoulders play a big role. When they're tight, you look stressed. When they're relaxed, you look confident.
That's right. Drop the shoulders. Let your hands rest naturally. Avoid constant movement. Use slow, intentional gestures when you speak. And don't force expressions. A calm, neutral face is often stronger than a constant smile.
Breathing matters too. When you breathe slowly, everything else follows.
Yes, slow breathing calms your nervous system and shows control. Eye contact is another key. Look at the person you're speaking with, not staring, not avoiding, just present. Let me ask you something. When you enter a room or talk to someone, do you notice tension in your body or do you feel relaxed? Write your answer in the comments and be honest with yourself.
That kind of awareness alone can change how you show up.
It really can. Next time you enter a room, slow down, take a breath. Don't rush to speak. Let your body say, I'm comfortable being here. When you stop chasing attention, people start paying attention naturally.
And they may not know why, but they'll feel it.
Exactly. Calm body language creates quiet respect. You don't ask for it. You don't demand it. You allow it to grow.
Because confidence that isn't rushed feels real.
People will test you, sometimes on purpose, sometimes without thinking. They'll interrupt you, challenge you, criticize you, or try to pull you into unnecessary drama. And in those moments, the fastest way to lose respect is to react emotionally.
That's hard, because reacting feels natural. When someone pushes you, your first instinct is to push back.
Of course. But here's the thing. The moment you react without control, you give your power away. When you stay calm, you take it back. Being non-reactive doesn't mean you're weak. It means you're in control of yourself.
So it's not about staying silent all the time. It's about choosing when and how to respond.
Exactly. Imagine someone criticizes your work in front of others. Most people rush to defend themselves. They explain too much, they raise their voice, or they shut down completely. But a grounded person pauses. They breathe, they listen, and they respond calmly, maybe with something as simple as, I hear what you're saying.
That kind of response changes the room. People notice the control.
They do, because anyone can get loud, anyone can react. But staying steady under pressure shows emotional strength. It tells people, I'm not controlled by your mood. I don't need to prove myself right now.
And that calm often makes the other person lose momentum.
Yes, drama needs reaction to survive. Without it, it collapses. Being non-reactive is about pausing before you speak, letting the emotion pass instead of letting it speak for you.
I like the idea of separating ego from the situation. Not every comment is personal.
That's an important point. Many people project their own frustration, stress, or insecurity. You don't have to carry that. Sometimes the strongest response is silence. Sometimes it's a short, calm sentence. What matters is that you're choosing, not reacting.
And when others see that you can't be easily shaken, they trust you more.
Exactly. Calm people become leaders naturally. They control the energy of the room without trying. So next time someone tries to pull you into their storm, stay still in your peace. Real power doesn't need to shout.
It shows itself by staying steady when things get uncomfortable.
There's something that shapes how people see you faster than talent, background, or confidence. It's your word. When you say something and you follow through, people start trusting you without questioning it.
Trust is quiet, but once it's there, everything changes. People listen differently.
They do. Your word becomes part of your identity. If you say you'll do something and you do it, again and again, people relax around you. They know where you stand. But when your words don't match your actions, even once, doubt starts to grow.
And it's hard to undo that doubt later.
Exactly. Think about two people who both promise to show up on time. One is usually late, always with a reason. The other arrives when they said they would, without explanation. Over time, you don't even think about it. You trust one and adjust your expectations for the other.
And when something important comes up, you know who you'd choose.
Right. Keeping your word isn't about being perfect. It's about being honest. If you can't commit, say so. Don't offer a promise just to look good in the moment. A calm no is far more powerful than a yes you can't keep.
That takes discipline. Saying no can feel uncomfortable.
It can, but it builds respect. When you do what you say, people start valuing your voice more. They take you seriously. And something else happens too. You begin respecting yourself more. You feel grounded because your actions align with your words.
That kind of alignment builds confidence from the inside.
It does. So treat your word carefully. Don't give it casually. Don't break it lightly. Every time you follow through, you strengthen the trust around you. And trust is one of the strongest foundations of respect.
Because when people know they can rely on you, they don't question your presence.
Many people think power comes from talking more, speaking faster, or dominating the conversation. But real presence often comes from the opposite. It comes from eye contact and from being comfortable with silence.
Silence makes people uncomfortable, though. That's usually when they rush to fill the space.
And that's why silence is powerful. When you don't rush, when you don't compete for attention, people start paying closer attention to you. Eye contact plays a big role here. When you look at someone calmly while they're speaking, they feel seen.
You can feel the difference right away. It's not intense or aggressive, it's just focused.
Yes, avoiding eye contact makes you seem unsure. Constantly looking around makes you seem distracted. But calm, steady eye contact communicates confidence without effort. Now, combine that with pauses in your speech.
Pauses give weight to what you say.
They do. When you slow down and allow silence between your words, people listen more carefully. You're not rushing to be understood. You trust that your words will land.
I've noticed in meetings, the person who speaks less often has the most impact when they finally speak.
That's a perfect example. Imagine someone talking loudly, interrupting others, trying to show how smart they are. Then imagine someone else who listens, stays calm, and speaks one clear sentence when it matters. The room shifts.
Because they didn't fight for attention, they commanded it.
Exactly. Silence also helps in tense moments. If someone challenges you or questions you, you don't have to respond immediately. Hold eye contact, breathe, let the silence do some of the work.
That takes confidence, but it also builds it.
It does. People begin to feel that you're present, grounded, and not easily shaken. You don't need many words. Your energy carries the message.
And that kind of presence stays with people long after the conversation ends.
One of the fastest ways to lose respect is trying too hard to convince people, explaining yourself again and again, defending every choice, trying to make others see your value as if it depends on their agreement.
That urge comes from wanting approval, and the more you chase it, the more it slips away.
That's because certainty is quiet. When you truly believe in yourself, you don't need everyone to understand you. You state what you believe calmly once, and you let it be.
It's tempting to argue when someone doubts you, though, especially if it's something important.
Of course, but imagine someone tells you your goal isn't realistic. Most people rush to explain their plan, their reasons, their effort. A grounded person listens, nods, and keeps going. No debate, no performance.
So the response is action, not explanation.
Exactly. Convincing comes from insecurity. When you respect yourself, you realize this. Not everyone needs your story. Not everyone deserves access to your reasoning. You don't owe clarity to people who are committed to misunderstanding you.
That's a big shift, choosing peace over being right.
It is. Speak with calm conviction. Say what you mean without rushing. Then stop talking. Let your words land. If someone disagrees, you don't need to win. You can say, I see it differently, and move on.
And instead of talking about what you'll do, you do the work.
Yes, results speak louder than explanations. When you protect your energy and focus on your path, people start paying attention without you asking them to. Those who respect you won't need convincing, and those who don't, convincing them won't change anything.
That takes pressure off. You're no longer performing for belief.
Exactly. You're building quietly, and that quiet confidence is hard to ignore.
Because certainty doesn't argue, it moves forward.
Many people believe that being respected means being heard more often, so they talk more, they share every opinion, they jump into every discussion, they fill every silence. But most of the time, that does the opposite of what they want.
Because the more you talk, the more chances there are to say something unnecessary or reveal insecurity.
Exactly. Speaking less is not about being passive, it's about being intentional. When you slow down and observe, you begin to see things others miss. You read the room, you notice who's confident and who's performing. You notice what matters and what's just noise.
There's a difference between having something to say and needing to say something.
That difference changes how people experience you. Imagine a group conversation. One person talks constantly, interrupts, tries to show how much they know. Another person listens carefully. They don't rush. They ask one thoughtful question. They speak only when it adds value.
People lean toward the second person, not because they're louder, but because their words feel considered.
Yes, silence creates space, and in that space, your presence grows. When you speak less, your words carry more weight because people know you don't waste them.
I've noticed that strong listeners make others feel important. That alone builds respect.
Listening is one of the most underrated forms of power. When you listen fully, people feel seen. They trust you, they open up, and you gain information, insight, and understanding without revealing much about yourself.
It's like you're gathering strength quietly.
Exactly. Now think about tense situations. Someone says something provocative. Most people react immediately. They rush to defend or correct. But when you pause, when you watch instead of jumping in, you keep control.
That pause can change the whole direction of the conversation.
It can. A short pause before responding gives you time to choose calm over emotion. It shows maturity, it shows confidence, and often it stops conflict before it even starts.
Silence isn't awkward when you're comfortable with it. It's only awkward when you're unsure.
Well said. Silence becomes powerful when you stop fearing it. You don't need to fill every gap with words. You don't need to explain everything you're thinking. When you speak, do it because it brings clarity or truth, not because you're afraid of being forgotten.
And over time, people start noticing that you don't talk just to talk.
They do. They notice that you observe first, that you think before you speak, that you don't rush into opinions. And slowly, your words become rare, and rare things are respected.
In a noisy world, the calm observer stands out naturally.
One of the biggest reasons people feel disrespected is not because others are cruel, but because they never clearly show where the line is. Boundaries are the line. Without them, people step closer and closer until you feel small.
And many people don't set boundaries because they're afraid of conflict, afraid of being seen as difficult, afraid of losing people.
Yes, they confuse being kind with saying yes to everything. But kindness without boundaries slowly turns into resentment. You start feeling tired, frustrated, unseen, and eventually angry, even though no one knows why.
Because from the outside, it looks like you agreed to everything.
Exactly. Setting boundaries is not about controlling others, it's about protecting your time, your energy, and your peace. When you say, "I'm not comfortable with that," or "this doesn't work for me," you're not attacking anyone, you're honoring yourself.
That's a mindset shift, seeing boundaries as self-respect, not rejection.
And here's something important. People who get upset when you set boundaries are often the ones who benefited from you having none. When you change the rules, they feel it.
That reaction can make people doubt themselves. They think, maybe I'm being selfish.
But you're not. Imagine a coworker who keeps giving you extra work at the last minute. You stay late, you cancel your plans, you help again and again. At first, they thank you. Then they expect it. Then they stop asking politely.
And one day you feel exhausted and unappreciated.
Exactly. Now imagine the next time they ask, you say calmly, "I can't take this on right now. I need to focus on my own tasks." No anger, no long story, just clarity.
They might be surprised, maybe even annoyed.
They might, but something changes. They stop assuming your time belongs to them. And others notice too. They see that you respect your limits. That's when respect grows.
So it's not just what you say, it's how consistently you say it.
Consistency is key. A boundary set once and then broken teaches people that your words don't matter. But when you calmly repeat your boundary, without drama, without guilt, people learn where the line is.
That consistency also builds confidence in yourself.
It does. You start trusting yourself because you know you'll protect your own needs. Boundaries also apply to conversations. If someone speaks to you disrespectfully, you can say, "I'm not going to continue this conversation if it stays like this."
That takes courage, especially if you're not used to speaking up.
It does, but courage grows with practice. You don't need perfect words. Simple language is enough. "That doesn't work for me. I need space. Let's talk later." Clear, calm, direct.
No over-explaining, no apology.
Exactly. Over-explaining weakens boundaries. It turns a clear line into a negotiation. You don't need permission to protect your peace.
What about people who keep crossing the line even after you're clear?
Then the boundary becomes distance. You don't argue. You don't beg them to understand. You step back, not with anger, but with clarity. You choose yourself.
That's hard emotionally, but it sounds freeing.
It is. When you let go of people who don't respect your boundaries, your life becomes lighter. You have more energy, more focus, more peace. And something else happens. The right people stay.
Because people who respect you don't fight your boundaries.
Exactly. Boundaries are not walls to shut everyone out. They are filters. They protect your inner world. When people know there are lines they can't cross, they don't just respect your words, they respect your presence.
And that changes how you feel about yourself, too.
Completely. You stop feeling powerless. You stop feeling used. You start feeling safe in your own life. That safety is powerful. It shows, and people respond to it.
Because someone who protects their peace quietly carries strength.
Before we end, I want to leave you with this. You don't need to fight for respect. You don't need to explain yourself to everyone. You don't need to become louder or harder. Real respect grows when you stay calm, protect your peace, and live in alignment with your values.
And when you do that consistently, people feel it. Even if they don't say anything, they notice the difference.
If this conversation connected with you, take a moment to subscribe to Speak English Daily, not just for English practice, but as a reminder to keep growing, calmly and steadily.
And if you want, share your thoughts in the comments. Sometimes writing one honest sentence helps make the lesson real.
Remember, you don't earn respect by demanding it. You earn it by becoming someone who respects themselves quietly, daily, and without apology.
Thanks for listening. Stay grounded, keep learning, and we'll see you next time.